Welcome to Cooking with Cass. Today we're making a chopped BLT. We're going to start by frying up some of Midamar's hickory smoked halal beef bacon, available at the link in the description below. We're making a monster Sammy today, so I fried up the whole package. If you want this smaller, I'd recommend quartering the amounts in the video. Once your halal beef bacon is looking glorious, we'll set that on some paper towels and let it cool for a bit. In the meantime, we'll prep the rest of our Sammy. We're going to start by cutting a red onion in half, then cutting it in half one more time, then slicing it into thin pieces. These don't need to be transparent thin, but just to your preferred thickness. Throw those in a mixing bowl and set them aside for now. I wanted a little throwback to our chopped Italian, linked below, so I chopped up some pepperoncinis in thin strips. This is probably 1.5 cups of packed pepperoncinis. In the end, I wish I would have thrown a couple tablespoons of the pickling liquid or increased the number of pepperoncinis I used because it was just a little too light for my tastes. I took 6 tomatoes on the vine and diced those up into thick chunks. You could probably get away with using 4 instead or saving the rest for salads or pastas later. Finally, we'll get chopping the halal beef bacon. I cut mine into 1 or 1.5 inch pieces, but because it's all going to get cut again, you could probably do thicker. I found that cutting all the ingredients once helps the consistency of the sandwich later. This way you should get a little bit of all the ingredients in every bite. Now comes the fun part. We'll take 2 heads of lettuce and roughly chop that every 2 or so inches, then remove the root end. Spread that around the cutting board so it's mostly even. Now we'll sprinkle on the pepperoncinis, the diced tomatoes, the red onion, and the beef bacon. Hit it with a little salt and pepper, then comes the condiments. I added some mayo, then came the final series of chops. And oh dear viewer, what chopping there was. Chop to and fro, here and there. And at some point, I realized I needed more condiment so my Sammy wasn't too dry, so I hit it with some more mayo and continued chopping away. Once that's all hacked up to your liking, we'll put it in the biggest loaf of bread you can find. I used my hand because it was way easier, but I highly recommend being gloved up for this. Much to my surprise, the bread couldn't actually fit all the BLT, so I made a couple smaller sandwiches later with sourdough. After that, I called it good and served it up with some chips. And that's all, folks. We'll see you next week with another delicious halal recipe.